Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling here for our All Elite Wrestling Save. Week number 1 of January. We finally hit 2022. That means it's time to find out where everybody ranks. Wrestlers of the year, company of the year, team of the year, all of that good stuff. Let's jump straight into it. First of all, contract. Kyle O'Reilly joining All Elite Wrestling. Finally bringing him in. Looking forward to it. And hopefully things work out well for that. So we've got him under a proper contract, exclusively signed with us. He's locked in, ready to go, coming in as a heel, ready to team up with Bobby Fish, and I'm really looking forward to that. Not only that, AQA, we've also signed her. She's going to be coming in. We talked about last episode what we could do with someone like Akira Hogan, who, you know, is showing a lot of promise, a lot of potential. She is a heel, AQA. We were thinking about bringing her as a babyface. Could we turn a babyface? Probably not. So I thought maybe we could join those two together because they're both doing probably nothing, but something we have to try and think about. Maybe AQA finding a partner for her might be the way to kind of introduce her and boost up our tag team division as well. But nonetheless, let's have a look at the wrestlers of the year and all the awards. So Okada, of course, takes out the wrestler of the year. Third time he's done that. And let's take a look. He's got 60 pop in the US, in Japan, 84. His match history, he averaged 83. That's pretty tough to beat. Pretty good numbers. Best match was 100. He had that against Ibushi, where they both killed at 96 and 90. So, no doubt about it, probably deserves that. I don't think there'll be too many guys averaging much higher than that here in this save. Company of the year, the WWE. So they were able to get it done. Obviously, you know, we have so much, you know, guys on the contract, so many great talents. They have the potential to really have excellent shows every time they come out there, and they really do. They have, you know, 80 plus shows just about on every single occasion that they have an event. So very good stuff there from them, and hopefully we might be able to beat them next time. I don't know if we will be able to, but we'll hopefully get close. Team of the year was Caristico and Mystico. There you go. So they have obviously had some good tag team matches. You know, he's averaging 81, so you have to believe that, you know, that's Caristico, so you have to believe that they will be doing pretty well for themselves. Match of the year was that Okada and Ibushi match. So far, we haven't featured yet. I'm not surprised that we haven't because, you know, we still do lag behind in a lot of different categories. Show of the year was the New Japan G1 Climax 30 in August. Young Wrestler of the Year was, Cachorro? Haven't heard of that one before, but he's in CMLL as the Black Panther. So for him to get that award, he's averaged only 64. I feel like we could have beaten that, but nonetheless. Veteran of the Year was Tanahashi. So no surprise, 45 years of age now. Wow, he's getting a bit old. 82 average, pretty damn good. So impressive. Female of the Year, Sasha Banks. That's always going to be very hard for us to win because our women don't have the popularity like a Sasha. She averaged 75. That's pretty good numbers, especially for the women. Most improved company was Ring of Honor. We talked about that last episode, the fact that they're now a medium size. They've been able to grow quite a lot in recent times. Let's take a look at their progression. They've grown from 44 to 55 popularity this year. So that is pretty impressive. Now, the big question is, can they maintain it? Can they hold on to it? You know, they really need to start bringing in some bigger names, I feel, if they are going to hang on to that. Independent Wrestler of the Year was Will Ospreay. So he hasn't got anyone signing him other than New Japan. But I don't know how he got Independent Wrestler of the Year if he's, you know, exclusively signed there. Maybe he's only just exclusively signed there. Yeah, it looks like that only happened in December. So he spent majority of the year working all the different promotions. Manager of the Year was TJ Nero. There you go. Announcer of the Year. Well, we haven't won anything, have we? Haruto Murata. He won it. He works for DDT, Stardom, a few different promotions. Color Commentator of the Year was Milano Collection AT. What a name. I don't know, there you go. And Ref of the Year, Eddie Orengo. So we won nothing. No awards for us this year. That's a shame. Not surprised though, but Hopefully next year we can feature somewhere. But let's take a look at the top 500. And for our wrestlers in particular, our number one wrestler was Bryan Danielson. Now, he did spend majority of the year in the WWE. He averaged 83. We have to wonder, 83 average, to only get at 16 was where he sat. That's surprising. But nonetheless, his best match was 93. His lowest match was 70, which was his last one against Brandon Cutler. So there you go. But since coming to us, he's only had 5 or so matches. He'd be averaging around probably 81 or so if you take away the 70. So yeah, not bad. Matt Jackson, out of the guys that have been there all year long, for him to average 34 was pretty good. 26 wins, only 4 losses, so he definitely protected the Young Bucks pretty well throughout the year. Averaged 75. Adam Cole averaged 79, only 2 losses as well for him, and looks like one of them was with us and one of them was in the WWE and NXT. Malachi Black, pretty similar, averaged 77. Hasn't probably lit the world on fire since coming to us, especially his last match wasn't that good either, but solid. Nick Jackson, 74, very similar to Matt. Kenny Omega averaged 75, 20 wins, 4 losses. So you can see a lot of our top guys, we do protect them pretty well. Adam Page, 26 wins, 5 losses, averaged 74. Some good numbers here. I suppose the problem that they got is that their best match, their highest rating of the year, isn't probably good enough to get them high up on the list. Cody Rhodes averaged 74. 22 wins, 7 losses. He's our world champion. That's why I'm a little concerned. Most of his matches around that high 70s. He doesn't get many 80 plus matches. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned. Should we maybe move the belt off of him if we are going to really take that next step? I feel like we might have to. Jeff Hardy, he averaged 67. That's surprising. Ray Phoenix was up there, 68. Penta, Jericho, he 15 wins, 7 losses, so he's actually had quite a few losses this year. Chris Jericho averaged 71. Park, 31 wins, 7 losses, averaged 70. That's pretty good. Even Brody King's higher than most of our wrestlers as well. He averaged 73 for the year. Alright, moving on to this week's edition of Dynamite on the pre-show. Marco Stunt losing to Danny Garcia. 42 rated match. Yeah, pretty solid. I don't mind that. Obviously trying to get Garcia a small little push as we get rid of Marco Stunt. Superbad had a promo as well. 38 for that one. Nothing wrong with that promo, so some solid stuff there. Okay, let's open up the main show here. We had the Pinnacle. MJF, Wardlow, FTR teamed up to take on some lower card teams, Bear Country and the Gun Club. Just a way for the Pinnacle to keep their momentum. Another win for them. MJF the best of the match, 83. Wardlow 71. Wheeler 73. Harwood 70. So, yeah, I suppose it's pretty low rated when you think about it, but 54 for the match. The other team all performing around the mid to low 20s. Never going to be that special. Wasn't that long of a match. Just a way to kind of give them a win, get them on TV. And to the promo, basically. MJF responds to CM Punk's comments, and he says the Pinnacle is just getting started, so don't worry about the Pinnacle going away or the Pinnacle struggling, anything like that. They are just getting started here in AEW. 81 for that segment. So not a strong promo from MJF. It was good. It's 81's good, but we know we can do better. So just starting to get the training wheels lifted off this storyline. It might take a few weeks to kind of get it going as we slowly build it, I suppose, to Revolution. Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander teamed up this week this time to take on Nyla Rose and Serena Deeb. This time Nyla Rose and Serena Deeb picked up the win when Nyla Rose submitted Chris Statlander. So a solid match, 43 rated. Chris Statlander the best in the match, 48. Ruby Soho was pretty lackluster, 42, not that special. Nyla 45, Serena 33. So it's a follow-up from last week where we had Nyla Rose lose to Statlander thanks to Ruby Soho. This time Nyla gets a bit of a win back and evens the odds here. So things been a bit hot and cold for Ruby so far. She hasn't quite got the better of Nyla Rose just yet. Brian Cage says he's unhappy with his career direction and he wants a pay-per-view match. So New Year's Smash coming up, he wants some involvement there and he wants an opponent. And he asks the GM Sting, who grants it. So he'll have an open challenge. Someone will show up to take on Brian Cage. So we know where that's going to be heading. Miro takes on Mark Quinn for 80. Solid match here. Miro is really impressing me lately. You know, he's really in great form. 85 from him, Mark Quinn 52. Just a great match to give Miro a solid win. This probably be the best match on the card, quite honestly. That's how good Miro has been. Adam Page runs the ring and wants to fight Miro. But Miro does get the better of him and hits him with his finisher. So 87 for that segment. Great segment there as well. So Page, you know, he was beaten down by Miro last week. Page comes out to get some revenge and they start brawling. Page gets a few shots in on Miro, but eventually Miro is able to beat him down and really show how dominant he is. 87 for that one. Jade Cargill, 38, defeating AQA. So AQA makes her debut. Very good for her gimmick. I've given her a thrill seeker gimmick. Don't know much about AQA, but I suppose with the, you know, she's got the big shooting star press, so I suppose she does some high-flying moves. I figured she might be a bit more of a daredevil sort of character, and that's something that the women's division could certainly use. So she had a 19 rated performance, which was okay. Obviously here to give Jade a win. And looks like I had the women's championship on the line as well, so I suppose we did an open challenge here, and AQA picked up the win. So that will advance the Shida and Cargill storyline as she was watching ringside. Leah Rush takes a kendo stick shot to the head to save Jade Cargill from a Hikaru Shida attack. 48 for the segment. That's pretty good. So Leah Rush is having, you know, a horrible couple of weeks. He's just down on form and down on luck. And he's the reason why Hikaru Shida is getting a title shot to begin with, because he gambled that opportunity away, and you know, he's lost recently and costing, you know, Jade Cargill that sort of match, that stipulation. So he takes a bullet here for Jade, who's able to get away from Shida, who was swinging that kendo stick around. The House of Black picked up a quick win over the Factory for 52. Malachi 80, Brody King 56. So the matches here for the House of Black haven't been that amazing, but they are just kind of just squash matches, you know, just enough to showcase both guys, show off a bit of chemistry and teamwork and cohesion from the two of them before they ultimately pick up the win. So we'll get to some more, you know, better quality soon, but it's just a way to kind of get both guys on the show and affiliated with the audience. Bryan Danielson's got a promo. He says he wants Adam Cole in a match to prove who is the better wrestler. 87. Looking forward to this one. You know, this should be a really solid match, Cole and Danielson. I'm not sure if we'll do it at New Year's Smash. We might drag it out a little bit longer. It's probably a fair while to drag out, so we might do the first edition of this at New Year's Smash. Will Hobbs picks up a quick win over Peter Avalon. 3-minute match. Quick, dominant win for Will. 40 rated overall. Ricky Starks and Jungle Boy in a segment as Ricky Starks taunting Jungle Boy backstage. They eventually get into a bit of a scuffle before it's broken up quickly. 55 for that one. Okay, so this is what we were mentioning before. Leah Rush informing Jade that he lost a big bet and Hikaru Shida will get a title shot at New Year's Smash against Jade for 42. So yeah, Leah Rush has been gambling away a lot of his, you know, investments, and of course his investments have been Jade and the Acclaimed, and he's putting a lot of different stipulations on the line, and well, he's been making a lot of bad decisions, and one of them has cost Jade Cargill here, and she'll have to face Shida at the pay-per-view. So there you go, 42 for that one. So we are obviously building towards Leah Rush kind of, you know, having a huge downfall and eventually being booted out of his own group. Sammy Guevara picks up a win over Scorpio Sky for 69. Sammy 77, Scorpio 43. Good stuff. Obviously, Sammy and Kenny Omega one-on-one. That's going to be taking place at New Year's Smash, so we wanted to give Sammy a win to boost his momentum. Kyle O'Reilly makes his debut. Here we go. He makes his debut. He's revealed to be Bobby Fish's secret partner for tonight's main event for 67. And he debuts an egomaniac gimmick, and it's been given the rating of great. So solid start, not an overly amazing segment, 67, but you know, considering O'Reilly and Fish don't have a lot of popularity, 40, 50, it's not huge. It's pretty good for what it was. The main event though, it was a 67 as well. So we did do reDRagon versus the Wild Things for 67. O'Reilly 70, Bobby Fish 62, Kingston 60, Moxley 88. There you have it. And reDRagon pick up the win. So they win their first tag team match together, and O'Reilly pinning Eddie Kingston, cheating his way to victory. So there you go. Moxley carried the match 88, but look, O'Reilly 70, Fish 62 were good, Kingston 60 was solid. Good all-around stuff here, and a way to really put over reDRagon. So Moxley, I guess, takes the loss here. But, you know, we were trying to keep Moxley strong by having reDRagon cheat, and obviously not having him take the pin as well. So we're hoping here to maybe give reDRagon a bit of a jump, a bit of a jolt in their popularity, and get them kind of rolling here. So it's a big win, big way to debut O'Reilly, and hopefully it's the start of something good for this team. Overall, it gives us a 75 rated edition of Dynamite. Not an amazing rating, but considering some of the matches didn't really have that much length to them, yeah, pretty good. Alright, quick look at the fallout from Dynamite. So we had 75, 9,000 attendance, 1.3 million viewers in total. Pretty good. Let's compare. Ring of Honor, they're starting to obviously move up a little bit in the medium size. They had a 63 rated show. Killer Cross, Marty Skrull, 75 rated match, teaming up there. Another obviously bit of news that's been going on. Another new wrestling company, EC3 and Braun Strowman creating their own company called Control Your Narrative or something like that. So we'll probably add them into the game at some point. I don't really know what's going to happen there, but they think they're going to have a TV deal. So there could be another company that might make a bit of a splash in our save that we might have to worry about as well. As we mentioned just a second ago, Ring of Honor, they're kind of moving up the ranks. NXT 74 rated show, they're still always going to provide us a bit of competition as well. And speaking of news, the big one, and we'll address this more I think next time, but obviously Cody Rhodes leaving AEW. What are we going to do with Cody Rhodes? This whole situation, I don't think anyone could have predicted this was going to be coming. I thought for sure he was staying there, and he might still, who knows. But at the time of recording this episode, he's just left AEW. Next time we have another episode, I'll address it. We did mention recently in the last couple episodes that we're thinking about having him lose the belt anyways, because it hasn't been that great, and we're probably thinking about giving it to Kenny, but we were going to do that at Revolution, and maybe we can still do it there, because Revolution is not that far away in real life, so we are a little bit behind in our save. But yeah, that's going to be big implications, huge implications really. We're going to lose a world champion in our save, so we'll have to figure that out, but we'll address more of that next time. And speaking of contracts, Keith Lee coming in. So here's the big question: babyface, heel. I think you've got to do a babyface run for Keith Lee. It's got to be. Kind of come in, and as we mentioned, Brian Cage open challenge. Well, the man who's going to take it will be Keith Lee. So we're going to have Keith Lee, Brian Cage at the pay-per-view as a way to kind of really start things off with Keith. Gets a big win over Brian Cage, who I'm assuming will be leaving AEW as well. So it's a way to maximize that opportunity because it's not going to be there for long anyways. And another person I absolutely had no idea, I completely forgot all about, was Mercedes Martinez. Now, in our game, she's retired. So I was going to sign her to a contract, but in our game, she's retired. So I don't know. Do we try and bring her in? She's got 37 pop. She probably would be a good asset, but she doesn't want to unretire. Now, we could force it to do it, and we probably will. So we might have to, mess around with her NXT contract there and bring her in. So she's 41. I don't really know what you could do with her. I think you could probably put her in a tag team, kind of boost up the division that way. Or, yeah, maybe a singles run. She could have some matches with Statlander, Ruby Soho, maybe even the champ, Britt Baker. So there's a bit you could do. But, yeah, that could be concerning. Her skills could be declining. We'll take a look. They seem to be holding fairly solid. No, there has been a fair bit of decline in some areas. Her consistency, for example, there has been a bit of a decline. Her stamina, so there has been some decline. So you'll have to kind of weigh up what you could really do with her at this stage of her career. But she's another one that I completely forgot came into AEW. I know that's one of the things that they've got a problem with. They bring people in, you just kind of, they're there, and then the next week they're not. So, and the other one we're hearing as well is the former Buddy Murphy, and that's Buddy Matthews now. So he's another one that could potentially be coming in. So we actually signed him to Impact in our game, and he's been doing well there. He's the Impact X Division champion. So he's another guy that I probably wouldn't do a lot with. I know he might potentially join House of Black or something in real life. So, you know, he's doing pretty well, averaging 73. So he's certainly performing quite well. So there has to be a bit of consideration to maybe bring him in. But again, I'm not sure how far he would move up the card. He might be another guy that kind of gets forgotten about in the middle of the card a little bit there. Some other things that are happening. Kairi Sane, she's rejoined the WWE now, Save. Mia Yim's potentially going to the NWA. And Scott Stanford, don't need to really worry about him. Yeah, so a few other little things that need to be touched up as well. Some of our TV deals we're going to fix up as well heading into Rampage. Hey, just before we get to AEW Dark, we advance one more day, and it is the big New Japan Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom event. Tanahashi won the IWGP Heavyweight title when he defeated Jay White. So that's another one I forgot about. Jay White, he might be coming to AEW on a long-term basis. At the moment, I'm just going to be assuming it's a few one-offs, but he's another one we might have to bring in. So he's no longer the world champion there. 53 pop in the US, pretty good. 74 in Japan. Yeah, there's a fair bit to like about Jay White. He's currently averaging 81 as of last year, so he'd be right up there as one of the top workers in the game. So something to look at. But this match, 73 from Tanahashi, 71 from Jay White. So nothing that special, I suppose. The best match was Rocky Romero on the card, defeating Takahashi, so 85. So not an amazing Wrestle Kingdom by all means. It was good. You know, Kenta and Bushi was only 58, for example. So there's a few lackluster matches on the show, but yeah, look, 42,000 attendance is a big card, no doubt. But yeah, I suppose it could have been a little bit better, I suppose. Alright, AEW Dark, let's get into it. As to open up the show, we had Jade and Sheeta in the ring, as well as the rest of the portfolio. Jade and Sheeta make their match official, and the portfolio address Lio Rush's recent investment mistakes and his gambling issues. 48 for that one. So pretty good segment, advancing the storyline and gaining a bit of storyline heat. To follow up, Lio Rush took on Darius Martin. Of course, the Top Flight have been beginning a feud with the Acclaim. So 32 for the match. Lio Rush putting over Darius here to try and get him some popularity before we do give Lio the boot. Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero got into a verbal exchange and make their one-on-one match official. So Ruby and Nyla, that one-on-one match will be official. So yeah, look, this feud's pretty good at the moment. We've been able to get a fair bit happening here over the last few weeks. So far, I think this should be a solid match for the pay-per-view. Alright, now it's time for Brandi's turn. You know, as we mentioned that Brandi could be on her way out, might not come back. Well, it's time for her to put over some of the other tag teams in the division. Brandi and Velvet lose to Superbad thanks to Rio accidentally getting herself involved and taking out Brandi when she was meant to get a member of Superbad. So Brandi was the best in match, 45, Penelope 29, Ali 36, and I suppose this does end any sort of push that Red Velvet was ever going to get. She got 27 for this one, so now that Brandi's gone, good luck, Red. You're going to need it. 36 for that one. Dustin Rhodes had a promo, 59. Solid promo. Brian Cage defeated Lee Johnson. Quick match here to give Brian a win to boost him up a little bit ahead of his open challenge. 64 by Cage, 18 from Johnson. Sammy Guevara cuts a promo on Kenny Omega heading into their big match, 77. Here's a solid match. The Lucha Bros in the Dark Order, 70 rated. Ray Phoenix the best, 81. Penta 68. Great match though, 70 rated. This is just a way to kind of continue the tag team title chase storyline that we're looking to do. I think we might be heading towards some sort of triple threat tag team match to determine the number one contenders to take on the Young Bucks at the pay-per-view. Something along those lines, but 70 rated here. Pretty good stuff. Miro cuts a promo on, he struggles to please his god. And obviously addressing Adam Page, the TNT title, 80 rated for that promo. So pretty good once again. We had another Jay Lethal hype video. Well, I'm starting to think Jay Lethal could be a bit like, I think his name's Via from Monday Night Raw, the guy who just has all the vignettes. He's never going to show up. Well, it's been a little bit like that for Jay. We've had probably a month of vignettes now, and he hasn't showed up yet. I'm a little worried. I just don't really know what to do with Jay, because now we've got Keith Lee, Kyle O'Reilly, Brody King. It's like, where does Jay Lethal fit in all this? I don't know if he does. That's the thing, but I think we just got to get him out there, get him wrestling, get him some wins, and go from there. I'm trying to think of like a big feud to kick him off with, but maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe he just needs to get out there and show us what he can do. Ricky Starks and Luchasaurus, one-on-one in our main event. I figure we haven't probably done this match yet, not in a decent capacity anyways. So Ricky Starks picks up a win thanks to Hook getting himself involved and allowing Ricky Starks to steal a win away from Luchasaurus, getting a bit of heat and continuing the Jungle Boy and Ricky Starks storyline. So 59 for the main event, both wrestlers 55 apiece, and gives us a pretty good episode of Dark, 65. It's probably one of the best we've ever had of Dark, let's be real. Alright, let's wrap up this week with Rampage. Hook gets a quick win over Peter Avalon in the pre-show for 29. We open up the main show with Cody Rhodes addressing his future and how much he's enjoyed being the champion of AEW, but he says he wants more. What does that more mean? Well, we'll have to figure that one out, but planting some seeds that Cody may be looking for something more than just the world title, just AEW 81 for that one. Alright, we finally made the debut of Jay Lethal. We have been hyping, and I said, well, look, it's time just to pull the trigger. We might not have a big feud for him right now, but let's just get him out there doing something. And he had a 60 rated performance here against Matt Sydal. Pretty good stuff here, 58 rated match, his debut, given a rating of adequate for his gimmick, and he'll come in as a heel. These two have good chemistry as well, so maybe a rematch might not be a bad idea. But, look, solid performance here from Jay Lethal. I thought maybe Babyface could be a good spot for him, but obviously bringing in Keith Lee, that's going to be the spot that Keith Lee's going to take, that upper mid-card Babyface, hopefully getting him further above. Jay Lethal, I just feel like he's going to get stuck in the mud a little bit. There's just so many guys there in the middle of the card. It's going to be hard to see him breaking through, but we've got him under contract. Let's see how he goes. Let's use him. Let's actually get him out there. Let's actually put him on TV and have some good matches, and maybe, just maybe, he might get himself over. The Young Bucks cut a promo on the tag team division, 82 for that one. Found out they haven't been used for a while. It's been a few weeks since we used the Young Bucks, so we decided to get the tag champs back out there. The House of Black, all three members, they'll take on 2.0 in this one. 59 rated match. Darby Allin 72, Malachi 81, Brody King 53. 2.0 was pretty good. Jeff Parker 47, not bad. Jenny Garcia 38, and Matt Lee 39. Of course, the House of Black pick up a pretty dominant and convincing win as we continue to build them up and get them a bit of momentum. Just kind of get them out there, beat some of the lower card tag teams, and get some wins under their belt. Superbad, they brag about their win over Brandy and Velvet and end up taunting Shining Force as well. 41 for that promo, not too bad. Main event time, Kenny Omega gets a chance to showcase what he can do, and we did it with Will Hobbs. Now, usually I don't like having Will Hobbs take a loss, as we're obviously trying to protect him as much as we can, but this time it was one of those instances where the young guy tests himself against one of the top wrestlers in the company, and he goes toe-to-toe with Omega. He lasts 15 minutes with him, gives him everything he's got, but it's not enough. That sort of match, 76 was the overall result, Omega 88, Powerhouse Will Hobbs 49, Cody Rhodes on commentary as well, watching on, so it does bring that storyline down a little bit there, but still good to get Kenny Omega out there, and good to have Will Hobbs see what he can do against one of the top guys. Post-match, Omega and Sammy Guevara go face-to-face in a confrontation. Just 67 for that one, so not quite hitting as high as I would have liked there. So, yeah, look, this is a bit of a mixed bag so far with Omega, Guevara, and Cody, but hopefully we can ramp it up a little bit just before we get to New Year's Smash. 69 overall, so not an amazing show. In fact, it loses us popularity because we've got to get over 71 to 73 to maintain our popularity. So not quite what we were looking for. We might need to try and do a little bit better next time. Okay, the results of Rampage, 1.41 TV rating, not too bad. We had about 761,000 viewers on TNT, so still holding pretty steady, nothing too crazy there. Mercedes Martinez, we've released her from NXT, we've offered her a contract, so hopefully next episode she'll be under contract with us and we can start doing something with her. So yeah, a lot of newcomers, a lot of new debuts, everything like that, so it's going to be very interesting indeed to see what goes down. Impact, they had Bash at the Brewery. What a show that'll be. Okay, 58 was the main event. Rosemary and Jordan Grace to retain the Impact title. So there you go. Buddy Matthews, he was on the card, so he obviously could be coming in for us. He had a 61 performance, so that's something there. That's not too bad. So yeah, Impact 55. Those sort of show ratings won't really do them too much. I can't see them becoming a big factor long term. Anyways. But yeah, New Year's Smash 2 weeks away, so we're going to still continue to build before we get to that show. A couple more weeks to get there. Some of our storylines obviously need a fair bit of work. Some of these storylines are more set for Revolution, but Adam Page, Miro, Kenny and Sammy Guevara, a couple of our big storylines going into the pay-per-view. We might do a triple threat tag team match with the House of Black, FTR, and the Lucha Bros to determine the number one contenders for the tag belts. And of course, at Revolution itself, we're going to start preparing for that Revolution ladder match. So we might do an 8-man ladder match in this occasion to get more guys involved. So that's when we can start to get, someone like Jay Lethal could get himself involved there, Keith Lee potentially, a few other mid-card guys to get them a bit of a spotlight. So looking forward to that. We'll start building to that after Revolution, but just keep that in mind. reDRagon and the Wild Things at the pay-per-view, a rematch there, maybe some sort of no DQ sort of stipulation might work out well there. But that's all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Total Extreme Wrestling. We'll be back for another one very soon.